Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the live show that I do every morning at 10:30 Eastern Time. Today is Friday, August 18th. Yesterday was another successful day. 4-3 overall with my official picks, up about a half unit. But of course, the low-hanging fruit was an easy casher, and everyone in the comments section, including myself, pretty much broke the hell down of that game accurately. Steve Matz was a great auto fade. The Yankees were a great bet on the first 5 innings, team total over, and also the first 5 innings over cashed. The over on the game cashed. Everything cashed. The Yankees cashed, and Matz got hit, and it was an accurate call. And everyone who held that cashed it, and overall another winning day, a half unit. And as you can see, I am putting my my hair back in a rubber band right now, trying to cultivate a little bit of a hipper look, a little bit of a more modern, sort of up to date, sort of now with it look. You know, just a little hipper, a little cooler. So I'm hoping that things will continue to go well up until football season, and my picks will do well. My physical appearance will do well. My clothing will be on point, and the mustache will stay looking good. All right, okay. So today is a big card, a full card of 15 games, and on the baseball card, I'm not sure I'm seeing anything that I'm quite loving, but I do have a bunch of WNBA bets that I did make on the overnight lines, and hopefully those will cash. I'll get to that in a second. Oh, and also the CFL pick, the game that we discussed yesterday, also cashed. The line movement was very telling that Edmonton was going to get their first loss yesterday, and I did wind up betting that, and they did. That did wind up happening. And again, I am on the under in the Ottawa game today. I got 56. That's just a mild lean, standard 1-unit bet, but that's one I'm liking as well. The CFL pick went well yesterday as well. All right, so today in MLB, some interesting stuff. Let's see. Nothing that I really jumped all over on the overnight line. The one bet that I did make, I did take a small shot with Arizona Godley against Santana. Santana has definitely had, obviously, Santana is an above average starting pitcher overall, but he can have blow-ups once in a while, or more than once in a while, and that tends to happen at home. And most of his starts recently at home have been mediocre or a little bit worse than that. And Godley, of course, is excellent. And so I took a shot with Arizona on the -1 line on the overnight line. Again, if Santana has one of his somewhat unexpected, 90-pitch, 9-inning shutout starts, good for him, and Minnesota will win easily. But if he doesn't, I think that Arizona has the significant edge there. So I took Arizona on the -1 line, and I guess what the hell, I will give that one as a pick. I'll give Arizona -1. Start things off with that. The money line part will be -115 at the Greek, and the run line part of that will be, let me just quickly check, Arizona +140. At the Greek, and 5 dimes Heritage, a few other places. So a small favorite line, small underdog line there for Arizona -1, and it's all predicated on Santana. If Santana gets hit a little bit, then it should. Yeah, Hako Schofield says, never know with Santana. That's true. Hako Schofield, you never know with Santana. That's why, in general, I like to take underdog bets in general when Santana is involved, whether you're betting on him or against him. And here you're taking, you're getting a small underdog line with Arizona. You're also getting Godley, and you're also getting a decent team. So it could lose, but, it's a bet that I made on the overnight line, and it cashed. Nate Dogg says the Arizona game could go under 9. Yeah, again, it's really all dependent on what you're going to get from Santana. I wouldn't be surprised if Santana gets hit here a little bit, but yeah, that game could go under, and we will see. All right, so yeah, Guan White says Santana has had 2 bad starts. He's due for a complete good game. Yeah, that could happen. On the other hand, he could also be winding down, wearing down a little bit at this point in the season. And again, if you look at his recent home starts in general, he tends to struggle a little bit at home. And the Diamondbacks have a obviously, as we know, a pretty quality lineup that can push a pitcher like Santana if he's struggling a bit. So we don't know what we're going to get from Santana, but I took a shot with Arizona on the overnight line. And again, if Santana does have a good start, you might get bailed out by Godley having an even better start. Lots of ways you can get bailed out here. So I took a shot with Arizona -1. Other games on the card are all sort of little bit iffy. An interesting game is St. Louis and Pittsburgh. Martinez against Williams, and Williams is a very reliable, unspectacular, but very reliable starter. I also took a shot with Pittsburgh as a small home underdog on the overnight line. And Martinez has been better his last couple of starts. His walks are down, but Martinez. I feel like Williams a little bit more reliable here. And as a home underdog, I did take a shot with Pittsburgh, and I also took a small shot with the over at 8. Again, Williams very reliable, but not lights out, so he should give up a few. And if Martinez, gets lit up or has suddenly control issues once again, he'll give up a few. So I took a small shot with the over 8, and I also took a bit of a bigger shot with Pittsburgh as a home underdog. Then the only other game that I bet, I think, on the overnight line was the Angels against Baltimore. That's another interesting one. Both teams are on a day off, but Baltimore returns from the West Coast, and the Angels do not. And the starting pitching matchup is a lot of question marks, probably favoring the Angels a bit. It's like Heaney against Hellickson. Hellickson, of course, as we know, can be good, but generally pretty vulnerable. And Heaney is a guy coming back from injury, a long-term injury, and his minor league rehab starts were solid, were decent, were okay. So I took a shot with the Angels as a small road underdog there. Again, I think that I'm willing to make a bet that Heaney will be okay in this start, and that the travel spot favors the Angels as well. So that's another bet that I took. I don't know if I'm going to give that one as an official pick here, but it's definitely a bet that I made. And those are all the bets that I made on the overnight line. Obviously, James Shields is also making a start for the White Sox, and that could be considered an auto fade or borderline auto fade situation. Let's see what the Texas first 5 innings team total over would be. I'm assuming it's going to be 3.5. It might be 3, juiced pretty high, and it is 3.5 minus 120 for Texas. So if you want to fade James Shields on the first 5 innings team total over, you're going to have to get to 4. Shields has been obviously very bad, but not, he's still, his last start, he did have a bunch of strikeouts. So it's not, a lock by any means that he's going to get shelled here right off the bat. One guy who I think is going to struggle again is Sean Manaea for Oakland. He's had 2 straight terrible starts in a row. His last start was actually just a third of an inning, got absolutely crushed in his last start. And of course, earlier in the season, he was he was one of the best pitchers in baseball for a while. Obviously has great upside, but he looks like something's a little bit off with him right now, or a lot off with him right now at this point in the season. That's not that happens to a lot of guys like him. And of course, he's going up against a still potent lineup with Houston, and the Houston team total over 2.5 minus 143 in the first 5 innings might be worth a shot, and maybe even the full game over on that one, or the first half over, because Dallas Keuchel has been okay, but far from lights out, and he'll probably give up a few here. Since his return from the DL, he's been okay, but not too great. So I figure Manaea is very vulnerable here, and Keuchel a little vulnerable. So I'd be leaning the first 5 innings over, Houston first 5 innings team total over, and just the over in the game as well in general. All right, so let's see what other. Let me just quickly check what other games are interesting. I mean, they're all pretty interesting. Once again, we have the Dodgers as a massive favorite. Hill against Zimmerman. Zimmerman had a bad start last time out. I was expecting this line to go up. I don't know. I'm going to stay off it. I was thinking that maybe if the Dodgers got bet up to like 250, I would take a shot with Detroit, but it doesn't look like it's moved so far, which is a little bit surprising. But I'm going to stay off of that one. Seattle, Tampa Bay, and the Mets, Miami have 4 questionable starters going, and all of them with uncertainty involved. Atlanta and Cincinnati. That's a game that I was thinking about with the under 9.5. Sal Romano has been getting absolutely lit up. But Atlanta is, of course, traveling back from Colorado all the way cross country, and Dickey, of course, has been very reliable. I did actually bet that one a little bit as well on the overnight at 9.5. I think I got minus 118 or something like that. And Romano has definitely been struggling recently, but he does have some upside, and he might have a decent start here, and of course will lead Dickey to continue to be good, which he has somewhat surprisingly been for a while now. Very reliable guy. Not lights out, always gives up a few, but generally having a quality start in and start out. So that's another one that I was leaning towards and that I did bet. Let me just quickly check if it's still 9.5. Let me quickly check if it's still 9.5. Yeah, it is still 9.5, and actually has gotten bet up. So now it's 9.5 at some plus money. I understand that Romano obviously has been very vulnerable recently, and Dickey is not a guarantee to give. He doesn't inspire a ton of confidence to keep up what he's been doing, but what he has been doing so far has been pretty impressive. So, and then of course we have Corey Kluber starting. Corey Kluber, always a good candidate for taking the other team on the first 5 innings team total over. I'm assuming it's going to be 1.5 here. Might be 2. Yeah, no, it's 1.5 under 1.5 minus 113. And that's a borderline play because Kluber, of course, great start in and start out, but does usually give up 1, 2, or 3 runs. So if you're taking the first 5 innings team total under, you're cutting it a little bit close. I think I'm going to hold off on that one. If it was 2, I would take it. But at 1.5, I'm going to hold off on that one. So let me just make sure there's nothing that I missed here. And interesting that Scherzer against Perdomo. Scherzer has been dealing. Perdomo has been struggling badly, so the Nationals are tempting, at least on the first 5 innings, but it's tricky to fade the Padres in any situation at home as a big underdog there. And again, you could maybe want to take a shot with the Padres' first 5 innings team total under 1.5 minus 135. Scherzer has definitely been dealing, but that's also a line that if it were 2, I'd take it. At 1.5, I'm going to hold off on. And then Milwaukee goes into Colorado, and Milwaukee has definitely been slumping offensively for a while now, but they do have some bats that I think might wake up in this series. So I was thinking about taking Milwaukee here as a big underdog, or on the second half, of course, is Garza against Marquez. Garza very vulnerable. Marquez generally knows how to do pretty well at Coors, so you might want to wait for those guys to be out and for the bullpens to come in, and then take a shot with Milwaukee. And also Arenado might be out for Colorado. He had a little injury yesterday, and I haven't read whether he's definitely out or not, but there's some speculation that he might be out. Of course, he's the RBI leader for them. And actually, wow. Milwaukee on the second half is plus 105. I'll throw that one on as an official pick. Another official pick, Milwaukee Brewers second half plus 105 at Colorado. That's another pick that I've given. So I've given Milwaukee second half plus 105. Arizona -1 at Minnesota. Leans are still Cincinnati, Atlanta under. And what are the other leans? Cincinnati, Atlanta under, and in general overs any which way in the Oakland-Houston game, and Pittsburgh as a small home underdog, and the Angels as a small road underdog. Those are my leans as of right now. Just 2 picks. We'll get to some comments to see if anyone can shed some light on any of these picks I've made or leans I've given, and we can talk about WNBA because the good news, or maybe the bad news, depending on how you look at it, is that I do have some plays that I'm kind of liking in WNBA tonight. 3 bets that I made, actually no, 3 sides and 2 totals. And let me just pull up SBR odds here to find out what those lines are currently. Let me just quickly find, and I'll also talk about the boxing match in a second, which I also have an opinion on as well. I covered that one with Andreas Hale yesterday. All right, so in the WNBA, 5 games tonight. The 3, I made 4 bets, but only 3 of them I'm kind of liking a lot. I bet Indiana plus 15.5 against Minnesota, and Minnesota, of course, is just coming off of a loss, and Minnesota slumping a little bit. They're still a great team, but not really getting these kinds of massive blowout wins. Indiana, a terrible team, but actually did beat Minnesota recently, so there is maybe some revenge here in Minnesota's mind. But on the other hand, I'm not sure Minnesota, feels like they have much to, probably going to feel like they have much to prove here against Indiana. They might, but in general, Minnesota's just been slumping a little bit, given 15.5 to Indiana, who did beat them recently. So I took Indiana plus 15.5 on the overnight line. I also took Chicago at home against the LA Sparks. LA, of course, is a great team, but Chicago's definitely been improving recently, and at home getting 7.5. I took that one. And I also took San Antonio plus 10 against Seattle. And Seattle, of course, is coming off a win against Minnesota. They've recently had a coaching change, and they've changed their defensive philosophy, which has worked. But they are coming off of a big, a win against Minnesota, and maybe a little bit of a letdown spot here. And the other factor, of course, is that San Antonio has been playing a lot better recently. I think they've covered 4 out of their last 5, and it's just a lot of points. If Seattle's going to win with their new style, it's probably going to be in relatively low scoring and relatively close games. as we saw with the Minnesota game. So if that's the case, then I would be leaning unders with them, and leaning towards taking the points in any game that they're involved in. So I'm going to take San Antonio plus 10 is my third bet, and then I also took a shot with Phoenix -1 against Washington. That line looks like it's heading up. That's a fourth bet that I did make. I like that one. Brittany Griner obviously back for Phoenix, and Washington is coming off of a terrible game. Question is, will they bounce back or continue to slump here on the quick turnaround? And my sense is that it's a slightly better bet that they'll just lose the game outright to Phoenix with Brittany Griner back. So those were the four bets I made. I took Phoenix -1. That one is heading up. Indiana plus 15.5. Chicago plus 7.5. And the Stars plus 10. And hopefully at least 3 of those will cash. And hopefully at the worst, 2 of them will cash. And then also with totals, I did hit a couple totals. I'll tell you what those were in a second. First total I hit was the under 157.5 in San Antonio and Seattle. And that one is now down to 156 or 156.5. And again, Seattle's last game, a win against Minnesota, was very low scoring. They're playing a new style of pressure defense with the new coach, and presumably that will lead to lower scoring games. And San Antonio is also a team that can be held down offensively anyway. So I took a shot with the under on that one. I'm kind of liking that one quite a bit. And I also took a shot with, what else did I hit? Yeah, and I also took a shot with the over 165 in Phoenix and Washington. That one, I'm liking a little bit less. Just Phoenix is looking like they're going to be very high scoring now with Griner back, and Washington will be bad defensively and okay offensively. So I took a shot with that one. The Phoenix and Washington games are, maybe the Phoenix team total over. Combining the side and the total might be the best way to go. But I got a lot of bets going in the WNBA tonight. I got 6 bets, 4 sides and 2 totals, and I'm definitely liking the San Antonio Seattle game, and probably also the Seattle team total under, which combines the Stars plus 10 and the under in that one might be also a good play. Again, Seattle playing very defensive oriented, new style of defense on that team, and that should lead to lower scoring games for them in the near future, as we saw with Minnesota. So Seattle team total under is another pick that I would probably like there as well. And yeah, so that's about it. So that's a WNBA for tonight. 5 games, a bunch of spots that I think do have some value, and I'm on all those bets that I just mentioned. All right, so let me pull up the comments page. Where the hell is the comments page? Hey, Wanma, the fuck is the comments page? Where the fuck is the comments page? Wanma. Oh, here we go. Got it. Okay. All right. I got it. All right. Okay. Comments page. Comments page. Let's see. All right. Comments about hookers and sluts. Come on, guys. Keep it sports betting oriented. Sports betting oriented. Jose Guardado asks, first comment I look at is, how much are the hooks in Costa Rica? I don't know how much they're. $100. $100 for whatever you want. 150 bareback. I don't know. I have no clue. All right. So let's see. Robinson Chepez loves to bet WNBA. Can't see if he agrees. King Al saying your best WNBA game, Pete. I don't know, man. It's I kind of like them all. I guess maybe the best bet overall would be combining the San Antonio plus 10 with the under on that game, and just taking the Seattle team total under, which should be about 83 or so. So, the Seattle team total under should be about 83. If I had to recommend one best bet, which again is not a lock, there are no locks in sports betting, and definitely not in basketball and WNBA or anything, I would probably say take a shot with the Seattle team total under at 83. That's what I would say would be my best bet there, I guess. The others I'm all liking, but they're all, maybe 53, 54%, 55% maybe opinions, in my opinion. So yeah, so that's it. WNBA, let's see. All right, let me just all right. Looking for some comments here. Guan White says locked in Twins Diamondbacks first 5 under. Okay, that might not be a bad bet unless Santana gets lit up, which, who knows? You really never quite know what's going to happen with Santana, but I certainly think you're probably going to get a solid start from Godley, more likely than not. Okay. Robinson Jepez says he liked, really, Robinson Jepez likes San Antonio, Seattle over 157.5. I wonder why. Tell me why, Robinson Jepez. I definitely am on Phoenix as well. Robinson Jepez, 2 picks, San Antonio and Seattle over 157.5, and Phoenix pick 'em. I agree with the Phoenix pick. I'm on the under, though, in the San Antonio Seattle game, which, again, could easily be totally wrong, but that's just my opinion, and I did bet it. I did back up that opinion with a bet. Let's see. Other comments. Lou Skunt asking Pete, did you start some dreads? I knew you were broadcasting from an opium den. No, I'm just trying to refine my look a little bit, look a little, hipper, cooler, a little more modern, a little more up to date is what I'm going for. And, a little bit more, cooler, snazzier, That's what I'm going for, Lou Skunt. All right, let's see. Nate Dogg likes St. Louis over 8. Let me see. No, I don't know. I mean, obviously St. Louis could win that one, but I feel like at the odds, Pittsburgh should not be a home underdog there. So I took a small shot with Pittsburgh. Hako Schofield says, I like Astros low-hanging fruit with Keuchel. Yeah, I can see why. It's a huge line, and I'm definitely looking to fade Mania here. It's just that Keuchel is not super reliable either, and I'm not sure that I want to be given a minus 200 with Keuchel. So the way I'm going to be betting that game is with totals. I'm going to take the Houston first 5 team total over, the Houston team total over, and maybe even the first 5 innings over. I definitely want to fade Mania, but Keuchel doesn't inspire confidence right now in me, and definitely not in the minus 200 range for Houston. If it was minus 140, sure, but in the minus 200s, it's just too high. Not going to be able to do it, and but I definitely want to fade Mania. So I'm going to be giving some official picks on fading Mania at some point in this show for sure. I just have to figure out how I want to do it. Hako Schofield says Keuchel looked good last start. Yes, look. I agree with you. I'm just saying he doesn't totally inspire confidence in me. And again, Keuchel's a guy who requires pinpoint control, and he may go on a run of excellence right now, close to his elite level. That wouldn't be a surprise. It's just at the current lines, I feel much better just fading Mania with team totals as opposed to taking Houston at that high of a line, the minus 200s. And again, as we know, Houston has not been profitable overall at home on the year. All their profitability has come on the road, and it's because of these huge home lines that they command. So yeah. Let's see. Guan White says Garza is horrible in Coors. Yes, Garza might get lit the F up here, and that's why I'm liking Milwaukee on the second half. We'll see how this turns out. Tempting to take a shot with the over on this one for sure, but I think I'm going to hold off on that one. Coors totals have been very, very screwy this year. Definitely, Garza is a guy who I'm looking to fade in general, and looking to fade particularly in a spot like this. So I'm taking Milwaukee on the second half at the underdog price. Probably Milwaukee goes into the second half of this game significantly behind. All right. Let's see. Guan White says flexing against Nicolino equals tomato cans. Yes. I don't know what way to play. I mean, I was thinking the obvious play there would be on the first 5 innings over, but I'm assuming that is going to be 5.5, maybe even 6. Let's find it. Yeah, 5.5. You could take a shot with that one. I was leaning Miami in that one as well. Definitely both tomato cans, very, very iffy. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do on that one. No bet on the overnight line as of yet, and no strong opinion on that one either as of yet. Jive Man, though, says right after that, Marlins team total over. Yeah, that might be a good play as well. The Marlins team total over on the first 5 innings is 2.5. And on the full game at Pinnacle right now, it's, it's 4.5 minus 134. Yeah, I mean, flexing. A guy who had great results in the low minors this year, and has come up and has just pretty much demonstrated that he's not quite ready for prime time. Although that can change at any given moment. So it's a tricky game, a high total. I'm probably going to wind up staying off of it. Yeah, I would label Nicolino a tomato can. I wouldn't quite label Flexen a tomato can yet. He's a youngster who just hasn't been able to adjust to the majors yet. But he might make a significant leap in the future, even this year. So Flexen's still a little bit of a question mark, in my opinion. All right, let's see. Looking for other comments here. Texas over with Cashner, Hako Schofield. Well, I don't know. Andrew Cashner has been getting nice results game in and game out, despite the fact that he just has a bad strikeout to walk ratio, which normally indicates that you're going to slump. So I don't know. I would actually lean under in that game, believe it or not. We know that the White Sox don't have a terribly potent lineup, despite what we saw yesterday. Cashner has been getting results. I'm a believer now in Cashner. It's a very high total, 11.5. Shields obviously is a guy who is a guy I'm looking to auto fade in most spots. But, his last start was not too horrifically bad. And that game I'm probably going to stay off of. But I would, maybe lean to the under on that one. It's just too uncertain right now. But earlier this year, Cashner was a guy who was looking to fade start in and start out. I did it a few times and got burned, and then I got off that train. Cashner definitely knows how to, has proven that he can get results with the arsenal that he has. He doesn't get a lot of strikeouts, but he does get okay results. So I'm not looking for an over in that one at all. Let's see. Jive Man says the Cubbies he thinks should get the win today. That's a tough one. Happ against Arrieta. Both Happ and Arrieta have been decent, but not also but hittable. At the high underdog line, I'd probably lean Toronto, but I'm going to stay off of that one as well. Okay, let's see. Looking at Jensen Bonzone says I'm liking Baltimore tonight with Helix. Really, Jensen Bonzone? Well, I'm liking the Angels at the price with Heaney. Again, it's a bit of a tough travel spot for Baltimore. Heaney has some question marks, but I think Hellickson has some question marks as well. Heaney does have major league experience or track record of some success in the majors, and his minor league rehab starts were good. Take that for what it's worth. But overall, I'm leaning the Angels. Of course, Baltimore is a team that is much better in general at home this year than on the road. So it's not necessarily a huge play, but I did take a small shot with the Angels as a small road underdog. Me and Jensen Bonzone going head to head. All right, let's see. Yes, Robinson Jeppes says Minnesota not good without Whalen. Yes, he's talking about WNBA there. Yes, Minnesota I don't think should be a 15.5-point favorite, and I am on them. Let's see. Other comments. Looking for comments. Just checking some comments here. All right, I'm looking for a comment by Robinson Jeppes explaining why he likes the over in that San Antonio game. I'm liking the under in that one. And he's saying that if McBride and Plummer in the backcourt, they'll have a fast pace. Without Bird, Seattle will go inside, possibly 20-plus free throws. You might be right there, Robinson Jeppes. You might be friggin' right there. Again, yeah, I would say that I probably like the San Antonio spread plus 10 the most out of those three plays, and then the Seattle team total under 83 second most, and then the full game under on that one, at 156 now the third most. So you might be right there, Robinson Jeppes. I'm definitely liking San Antonio though to keep it close. Yeah, all right. Definitely liking San Antonio to keep it close. But interesting comments there, Robinson Jeppes. I'm just hoping that I win, 3 or 4 or 5 out of my 5 or 6 WNBA plays tonight. All right, let's see. Looking for some other comments here. All right. Fight apparently the Bag and Kobe Valentine apparently are fighting. There's some chat room drama here. Tomarino Tomer says, I heard BMOC took a shot at me. Funny, the loser sends 220 free tweets a day and suggests I have too much time. Ooh. Fight between BMOC and Tomarino Tomer. I love fights that I'm not involved in. I hate fights that I'm involved in. It just crushes my soul. But when other people are involved in fights that I can just sit back and watch, love that shit. Tomarino Tomer and BMOC apparently squabbling right now. Interesting. Nice. Hako Schofield saying, are you going to tweet out MLB this week? Yeah, maybe. I'll tell you what, Hako Schofield. There's something about if I know I'm going to tweet some stuff, there's just some kind of it's like some kind of jinx. Like last night with the I know people aren't going to believe me, but there were 3 NFL preseason picks that I wanted to give. It was the Miami team total under, Tampa Bay on the first half, and the under in the Philly game. I wanted to give all those. I bet them all, but I just because my only NFL preseason tweet that I made this year was so bad. It was an under on the Sunday night game last week, and it went way over. That I was just like, why put up my public reputation on the line where I can just not tweet them, and then I don't have anything to worry about. Of course, all 3 of those bets cash. Pretty solid, solid reasoning why Tampa Bay was playing all their starters in the first half. So I like them on the first half. Baltimore has been having a great defense in camp and in the preseason so far. So it's understandable why Miami would not do well against that. And I like the team total under there. And then I took the under in the Philly game as well, and all 3 of those cash. So yes. If I see something I'm really liking, that there's no doubt about that I'm liking, I will tweet it out this weekend. Tweeting picks makes me nervous because for some reason they always just seem to lose. I will talk though about the boxing matches coming up this this weekend. In Dongo, it's a unification match at a unification title fight at 140 pounds. And I previewed it with Andreas Hale. Me and Andreas Hale have been killing it in MMA. And we both feel the same way about this fight. We both like Crawford to win by decision. It's at plus money, plus 145 at some places, plus 148 at 5 dimes. And Crawford, of course, a huge favorite, just an elite fighter right now, top 5 pound for pound. He's minus 1,900 to win the fight, but just to win the fight by decision, plus 145. You know, you can watch that video for a reasoning why, but we both like Crawford to win the fight by decision at plus 145, and I also added on the over 9.5 rounds at minus 130. It's an interesting story, an interesting fight, and Andreas had a preview where we broke it all down, and those are our picks on that one. So I definitely like that one. All right. So Hako Schofield saying, Pete, you have been on fire lately. Yes, I have. I have been on fire lately. I hope it keeps every time I'm on fire, and then I acknowledge that I'm on fire. The next day is just horrifically bad. So I don't know, but yeah. Yeah, I've been on fire lately. Thanks for noticing, Hako Schofield. And yeah, King Al asking, what's your CFL? The CFL is just a very, very modest lean. It's the under 56 tonight. It went down to 55.5. That's it for tonight. I have one bet on that one, and you know, I don't love it necessarily. I think it's okay, but I did bet the under 56 on that one. And yesterday I had the under, which pushed. I got 59 luckily, and I also had Winnipeg getting the win. So you know, last night turns out close to kickoff. I knew that I was on the right, or I felt confident that I was on the right side. Tonight, just one pick so far on the 2 games. All right, let's see. Any other comments here? I think we can just wrap it up. We can just wrap it up. Oh wow, more comments on the fight between Tomarino Tomor and BMOC. I love this. I love this shit. Wow. Let's see. Wow, Loose Gunt seeming to Loose Gunt commenting. All right, I'm not going to get into it all, but I like this. Tomarino Tomor versus BMOC. Excellent. Love it. All right. Okay. I guess that's about it. Yes, Jive Man says Crawford might go for the knockout to earn him a big money fight. Yes, that is something that I discussed in depth with Andreas Hale in my call with him. Crawford has been, for people who aren't familiar with who Crawford is in boxing, Crawford is an elite top 5 undisputed. No one disputes that he's a top 5 pound for pound fighter. But the boxing community is having a hard time finding opponents who are worthy of him. So what he's been doing, he kind of wears down his opponents and then he toys with them, and he's gotten some flack for that. The people are saying that he'd get more attention if he got more devastating or quicker knockouts. So I was thinking that maybe he'll try to do that here with Ndongo, but Andreas Hale disagreed with that, and I kind of disagree with it as well. Crawford is what he is who he is, and he does what he does, and I don't think he's really taken any of that stuff to heart. I think he's going to, do what he does against Ndongo. I think he's going to get a pretty solid challenge from Ndongo. Ndongo seems like a guy who has heart. Definitely can. His last fight against Burns went the distance. So I think that Crawford is going to get the win here by decision at plus 145. I think those are good odds. And also the over 9.5 rounds at minus 130 is also a good bet because, as we know, Crawford, his finishes do tend to come late. So there is a chance that he might get, a finish in the 11th or 12th round. So the over cashes, but the fight doesn't go the distance. So that's what I'm liking on that one. And if you want to learn more about what Andreas and I had to say about that fight, you can catch that video at the SBR Odds. It's been up for a day, and it is once again a nice one. Me and Andreas Hale have been killing it in MMA recently, event in and event out, and I'm looking forward to the next event that we do. All right, you know what? I'm just going to wrap it up. I mentioned that I've been on fire lately, so I don't want to make a bunch of picks and risk having a terrible day here. I'm just going to stick with Milwaukee on the second half. Arizona -1, and my leans would be, Pittsburgh as a home dog, the Angels on the second half. That is very tempting. I do kind of like the Angels, but I'll hold off on that for now. I'll just stick with the 2 official picks, Milwaukee on the second half and Arizona -1, both small underdogs. If one of them cashes, oh no, and then Mania. I have to make a decision on this one. Damn. Let me find the first half total here on Oakland and Houston, 4.5 or 5. Yeah, oof. Gosh, taking the Houston first 5 innings, team total over. You know what? I'll hold off on that one as well. Screw it. I'm probably going to be betting it, but I'll just stick with 2 picks that I think are both solid. Arizona -1 and Milwaukee on the second half at plus 105. That's it for today, but my leans are definitely Houston, first 5 innings team total over to hit Mania. The first 5 innings over in that game in general, which is there is a 4.5. There are some 5s available, but Heritage has 4.5 minus 125, or you can get 5 at plus 105. Other leans would be the Angels as a small road underdog, Pittsburgh as a small home underdog, and that is just about it for now. Oh, and Cincinnati and Atlanta under, although that line is creeping up. I understand why. Both starting pitchers do not inspire confidence right now, although Dickey has been good, but just in general, it makes me a little bit nervous. But I did bet that one on the overnight. It's gotten bet higher, and that is I guess that would count as a lean for me as well. But that's about it. Just 2 picks today. Milwaukee second half plus 105 and Arizona -1. A whole bunch of plays in the WNBA. And that wraps up the show today. I'll try to tweet some stuff out this weekend if I don't feel like I'm jinxing myself. Whether I do or not, we'll be back on Monday for the Monday show. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for all the comments, guys.